Good evening, YouTube. Duty Ron back with a late night Friday video follow up to the NYPD officer bucket dousing incidents here in the New York area. Has now branched out into a lot of other areas, and we're going to talk about it tonight, so stick around. I'm going to give you updates on the current situation, on how many people have been arrested, how many more people are being sought after for arrest. It's around 14, 15 perpetrators. We're going to talk about that here tonight. We're going to wait for some people to come on in. So thank you for joining. I know Joey Brooklyn's going to be in here with us tonight, so we're going to wait for him to come on in and hang out with us. So let's see what's going on. I'm going to invite on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Let's see how that goes. All right, good. We are live. Woohoo! I haven't been going on this late in a long time, so let's see how this goes. Hi, Mary. Welcome in. First one in. Mary Swampy is in the building. I love that name. I love the name change. Digging the name change, Mary. Thank you. Hey, Joey. How are you, bud? Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for joining. So I hope everyone's having a good Friday evening. Here in New York, it's around 1 a.m. Life of MC. Welcome in from the Philippines. Hello, Elizabeth. Elisa 1111. Thank you for joining. Patty, good to see you. How are you, Patty? Duty Blue is here. Security. I have my number 1 and number 2 in the building. Guys, as you can see over my shoulder here, that's New York City greatest detectives in the world, serving the people 24 hours a day. I stole that sign on my way out. On my way out, when I retired, that was my parting gift. I stole this from my office. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Emily, thanks for joining. Who else is here? That's Platinum Mimi in the building. Platinum, love and respect. Late night live. Mary loves it. Excellent. Excellent. Hello, Jennifer Ramirez. Hope the audio is good and the video is good for you guys. Let me just invite on a public post. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I was going around on Friday Grow Day with Farmall Fanatic, Rouse Trucking, and the whole crew, and I gained a ton of new subscribers. So let me share it. Come join me live. Okay, I just shared it. Let's see. Elizabeth, yeah, mad. Let me tell you, Shannon, good to see you. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in. Emily, Flotilla, thank you so much for coming in. Emily, what a shame. Yes, no respect. Terrible situation. Hi, Margie. How are you? Thanks for joining. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter and all of your friendship on the Duty Ron channel. Thank you to all my Patreon people, all my supporters who send me messages down below in the chat, who send me emails and correspond with me. Tremendous group of people. What a wonderful group of people we have here on the Duty Ron family. Joey, do we got a thumbs up on the signal and audio? Thumbs up on the signal and the audio, Joey? There you go, Emily. Thank you. Yes, thank you to the moderators. All right, let me finish this tweet. Let me finish this. Hi, Andrea. Good to see you, Andrea. Thank you for joining Life of MC in the Philippines and everybody. I love to say hello to all my friends. Kim Francis is in the building. Good to see you, Kim. Hope all is well with you and your family. Hope all is well with everybody. Let me share one more time. This is exhausting. I got to pay someone to do this for me. Anybody willing to do the shares for me? Anybody want to do the shares for me behind the scenes so I don't have to do this? If that's not being lazy, I don't know what is. It just seems like it takes up too much of our time. It takes up too much of our valuable time, right? I'm on strict bed rest, but I have good signal finally. Thank God. Get some bed rest. Shannon is laughing at me. This is DIS2. Christina Reyes, welcome in. I'm not sure if I'm picking up on what DIS2 means. Okay, so what else do I got to share on WhatsApp? Thank you for that, Mary. Thank you. All right, here we go. Almost done. Error. Christine says error. Error. Okay. All right, almost done. Almost done, kids. We're gonna finish this onslaught. We're gonna finish the onslaught. Hey, should I share to Snapchat? I don't think so. So I keep wanting to tap the hearts. Okay, yeah, like Periscope, right? I'm gonna set you guys up with a little video. Let's talk about quickly as I share onto my Instagram and YouTube groups. I have a ton of groups that I share to. I share onto my Discord group. Excellent, Jonna. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in from California. So I have Discord groups and a bunch of different groups that I share to. So I'm done doing that now. I'll just continue to share once I start bringing you the live, once I start bringing you the content that I want to show you. I love that term, Emily. That's pretty funny, Flo. Emily, pay the cover charge, give the thumbs up. All right, so we spoke about this a couple of days ago. We spoke about the epidemic of young people in the New York City area. Actually turned out to be, some of them have been adults. They are out in the heat. Hello, Veggie Vibes. Good to see you, Hio. So the young adults are out in the heat and they feel like it's okay to wet or douse New York City police officers with water, and it's just not okay. This is now branched out to other parts of the country. I saw a video of Atlanta, Georgia, officers in Atlanta being pelted with water. I think upstate New York, it was Mount Vernon or Westchester, somewhere in Westchester, there was a group of officers who were doused with water, and this is going to spread throughout the country. You're going to get jagaloons that are going to think that this is okay. One of them was a confirmed gang member. I'm going to get to that. Definitely give me a chance. Thank you for that, Duty Blue. I know you're up to date on everything, but we have 4 under arrest at this point. Nikki Mack, good to see you. Thank you for joining, Nikki Mack. I know that it's a struggle to come on over to YouTube. I know you don't like it. A lot of people from Periscope are not used to the user interface, and it really isn't user friendly, so I get it. So a lot of my friends from YouTube, from Periscope, don't like to come over to YouTube. That's why I still go live on Periscope, because I know that it's a tough transition. But getting back to the situation, I hate it too, at a core. Getting back to this situation, it's a dangerous proposition for our public to get the perception that it's okay to wet and douse police officers while they're on duty and in uniform. Hello, Katrina. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Katrina, thank you for those Snapchats. I always love to get Snapchats from you. Always fun. I love Hawaii. I love the people all over the United States. But good to see you, Katrina. Thank you so much for joining. Mary, it is definitely not cool. I know you come here for me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Nikki. So the general consensus is, and the message is getting out there, that it's okay to do this. And in New York City, there's a real bad climate politically with the current administration. The Mayor de Blasio, has given the police like kind of like a hands-off situation. Hello, Chrissy C. Good to see you, Michelle. It's happened again. It's happened more than once. Again, there's been numerous incidents. I'm going to show you a 3 or 4 minute video, and then we're going to do some Q&A, and we're going to talk about it. Hello, Sonia. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. It is sad. It is really sad. But guys, at the end of the day, what's being created is a very bad precedence that's being set. Just picture this, and I know this is just an analogy that I'm going to give to you guys. This is just an example. Just picture this, ladies and gentlemen, to anybody that's listening on the replay. Picture you put a suit and tie on in the morning if you're a gentleman, or you are a woman who is dressing in business attire. You get on the subway and you travel, or you get on public transportation, or you get in your car and you travel to your office. Now you're at your office, and now you go out for a lunch break or a coffee break or a cigarette break, and a guy or a girl comes up to you, or a mob of people come up to you and douse you with water. Okay? I don't think any of us here would be okay with that as regular civilians. So think about an official who's sworn to take an oath to uphold the law of the land, to uphold the laws of the land, and they go out and get doused. I don't think anybody, even in regular business, would be acceptable. I don't think any woman that puts a whole face of makeup on, for those of you who do that, and get your hair done, would be okay if I walked up to you and doused you with water, or a complete stranger walked up to you and doused you with water. I don't think anybody here would be okay with it, and I don't think anybody here would say they shouldn't get arrested. That nothing should happen to them. So this mob mentality and the mentality of the public to say, well, the police are overreacting. They're making arrests now because, they really. Listen, the reason I deleted my Facebook is because there's so many jagaloons on Facebook. I deleted my Facebook a long time ago, and then I put it back at the request of a lot of fans, a lot of people who wanted to communicate with me on Facebook. So I opened it back up reluctantly, and I got a message from someone, and I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody who's a real good friend from Periscope, who's an avid law enforcement supporter, and she made a comment on my Facebook page and said, "Since when is it illegal to wet somebody with water? Don't you think those cops, it was refreshing for them to get in the heat, because we had a heat wave last weekend?" And I'm going to show you I can't show it to you, because then I'll be calling the person out. I don't want to do that, because she apologized to me. But the only time she apologized to me is because I came back with a really strongly worded response. And it just brought back bad memories for me of mob mentality on Facebook, about how people perceive things in a different light. And when I got it from her, and I've been friends with her for a long time through Periscope, I said, before I completely block and not be friends with this person anymore, let me give her a chance. And I did, and that's the kind of person I am. I gave her a chance. She backpedaled and said she was sorry. It's there on my Facebook feed. It was a post that I shared about this incident, about the police getting doused with water. And I will. I'm not gonna mention names. I'm just giving you guys an example of the perception of out there, and the perception of the public is really skewed in this manner. So again, if you guys are on the same page with me, if you were out in public and you were dressed in business attire, or just dressed to go out, and someone doused you with water, do you think that it would be okay for the police to walk away from that and say, we really can't do anything about it? Wouldn't you want something done about that? That's a blatant disrespect. you know? So I just bring that to you. So let's get this going. I want you to watch Dan Bongino rip into the New York City mayor for the cop soaking incident. So let's watch this for a second. Let's watch this guy.
In the wake of a string of disturbing water bucket attacks on New York City police, a fourth video has emerged, this time showing little kids shooting water guns at officers. One of them, one of the NYPD unions, is now saying enough is enough and is demanding that the city bucket attacks on New York City police. A fourth video has emerged, this time showing little kids shooting water guns at officers. One of them, one of the NYPD unions, is now saying enough is enough and is demanding that the city's police commissioner resign. And while there is a growing outrage over what's being called a total lack of respect towards law enforcement, a shocking video from last month is now getting attention. This one shows cops in Atlanta being blasted by super soakers from a large crowd surrounding them. All right. I know this issue has really fired a lot of people up, particularly you. You're somebody in law enforcement. I want to go to you first and hear what you have to say. I mean, we know that sometimes community and the police force don't always get along, but is this really the answer?
You know, I'll never forget my last day before I left the NYPD to become a Secret Service agent. There was bunting on the precinct.
This is in Atlanta, Georgia.
We lost one of our guys, a guy who had worked his entire career for probably $50,000. He wasn't going to be poor, but he was sure as hell never going to be rich. I knew the guy, came there every day. He busted his butt. And we had a general idea back then, though, that even though we knew we were going to have casualties once in a while in the police department, we were always going to have each other's back. And there was this, even in New York City, in the NYPD where I worked, there was this top-down mentality in the Giuliani era that it's not an us versus them. We work for the community, but we are not going to be crapped on either. That is gone. De Blasio is a coward. Nikita de Blasio.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, this guy's a chump. He sits there on his throne, on his ass. He doesn't do anything. He craps on the cops at every single opportunity. He blames them and tells his kid they need special rules dealing with the police officers, which is bull. You get the rest of it. This guy, this is your fault, de Blasio. You have never backed up the cops. Now these poor cops who go there, they lose their buddies. There are empty seats at Thanksgiving every year because we lose cops. Kids have lost their fathers, and you never back them up. It's this guy's fault. In the Giuliani, or one more thing, I'm sorry, I don't want to hog this segment. We have a lot of voices here. Sure. But in the Giuliani era, here was the rule. You threw a damn rock, you went to jail. The second guy who threw a rock went to jail. I promise you, there was no third guy throwing a rock. This is... You get the rest of it.
No, look, Dan, and you have every right to be fired up about this. And I was going to make a little bit of light saying, yeah, apparently you're going to be running Bill de Blasio's presidential campaign, but I won't go there quite yet. But, you know, you mentioned the issue of rocks. This is supposed to be something that was going to be a non-violent protest. But obviously it's not. I mean, Dagan, what do you make of this? I mean, you know, when people are saying that they're picking up squirt guns rather than real guns as some kind of a solution.
People watch these videos and know, whether they live here in New York City or anywhere in this country, if the police officers can't and won't defend themselves even against water attacks, they can't defend the people and protect the people of the city in which they work. Mayor de Blasio, what did he say? Crime's gone down year after year after year. That's in spite of him. That's because of the police officers. Right. That's because of the NYPD. And he's lucky because he's failed in every other way in this city, whether it's protecting kids, the homeless, the mentally ill, students. The only reason that he's still in office is because of the police department. This has to stop.
And
they need to go to, all these people need to go to jail.
And he got lucky. Now, Greg, my question to you is this. Is this, you know, July's version of milkshaking people? I mean, we saw this across the pond and every place else where somehow, you know, people are rising up in the streets thinking that throwing milkshakes at people is somehow going to create, you know, civil discourse.
Well, okay.
Are you ready with the milkshake?
Yeah, it's, I mean, humans are mimetic creatures. We imitate each other. So if we see the milkshakes, we see the water, and we also see it on social media. Mobs form fast because we tend to imitate each other. I think what we're seeing here, in the lack of arrests, is the consequence of smartphone cinema. Because just one arrest when you have a mayor like de Blasio, can be blown up as an example of brutality, and then you're going to have mass protests. And in a city with an MIA mayor who hates cops, let's face it, the police know that their careers and their lives could be ruined, so just walk away. So they're in a textbook definition of a tight spot. If they do the right thing, who knows what the mayor's going to do to them next? They don't know what to. It's, to you, Dan, I think that this is a different era
right?
than you would like. You knew Giuliani was going to back you, but a cop there doesn't know that. So they're like sitting there going like, you know what? Arrest this kid for water, or just go back with a soaked shirt, and then they get ribbed by their.
Look here. It seems like even in a time where everybody is divided, it seems like we're all united in something. And this is Bill de Blasio is not particularly where nobody's a big fan of Bill de Blasio, including the President of the United States, that had a few choice words to say about his hometown mayor. Take a listen.
Probably the worst mayor in the history of New York City. The policemen and women cannot stand him. They don't respect him. They don't like him. I thought that was tragic watching that scene a couple of days ago. When I first saw it, I couldn't believe it. I said, let me see that again. I don't believe what I'm seeing. And I know New York's finest, and New York's finest, in fact, we were in touch with them today. They are devastated.
Jesse, what's your take?
Well, yeah, and de Blasio shot back today and said when Trump leaves office, he won't be welcome back in New York City. Well, I don't think that makes much sense because de Blasio will be out of office and Trump still owns his own tower. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even like showing these videos because it's like the new ice bucket challenge. It goes viral, it's national.
But much more nefarious.
Right, no, obviously, and it encourages more people to do this because these teens on the street have found the perfect sweet spot to show their disrespect. They're not laying hands, and they're not doing anything to interfere besides throw a little water, and it doesn't trigger an aggressive response, but it should trigger aggressive response, and they're afraid of responding aggressively because they're going to get called out on it.
Yep.
No one would ever do this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There's been a complete lack of respect to authority figures in this country, ICE agents, teachers, parents, police officers.
Talk show hosts?
Jesse, yeah, I'm going to have to throw some water on you right now because we're going to have to move on.
So there you have it, guys.
In the wake
right
of
there.
a string of
Really terrible situation. This whole thing is just out of control, and it's now branching out. You just saw video from down in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going down south. Good to see you, Linda, from Canada. Great to see you. So you heard what they said. The mayor and the police commissioner are effectively handcuffing the police. And if you handcuff your police, it's a dangerous situation. Very dangerous. I'm going to play you a clip. One of my fellow Academy brothers, Lieutenant Darren Porcher, he was on Fox and Friends, and he did a piece where he spoke. I went through the police academy with him. Love and respect right back to Australia. Hello, Allison. Good to see you. So my fellow Academy, fellow brother in blue, he is now a correspondent with the news media. He's a retired lieutenant. He has his doctorate. He's a very smart person. His name is Darren, and you'll see him here on the panel. And he chimes in with his analogy of what's going on. So let's listen to my fellow NYPD class member. And we also worked in the housing bureau together. He was up in the Bronx, and I was in Brooklyn.
Outrage this morning over the complete disrespect towards New York City Police Department officers being drenched with water, all caught on cell phone video.
Oh my God, they came over here to talk it up that they violated. Yo, they violated them. They violated
Chrissy, give me 2 seconds and we'll talk about it.
No, they violated them. Oh, they not stopped.
Oh, man, and that's not the only one. A separate incident on the other side of town. This video showing a bucket being hurled at a cop.
That was an empty bucket that hit that cop in the head there. That person, all these people were arrested in
Here
these
with
videos.
reaction, our law enforcement.
All right, there's my friend
panel.
to the
We've
right,
got Blue
Darren
Lives
Porcher.
Matter, New York City founder, New York Sergeant Joseph Imperatrice, screen left, along with former New York City Police Department officer Darren Porcher, screen right, and former Westchester County Police Sergeant Steve Cardine. Guys, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Joe, New York City police officers are furious at this video.
I don't often get upset about anything, but I was sick to my stomach watching this. You had officers ultimately walking away with their tail between their legs because they were bullied. The other scene, you see officers getting buckets thrown at them, and not once did the officers turn around for their safety to see what else was coming. Not once did you see them take enforcement action. And you rewind 5 years, and Danny Pantaleo took police action because someone was resisting arrest. Someone committed a crime. And not one person, not one official came out on social media and defended Danny. But because yesterday looked terrible, they go on social media reminding the public that they need to respect the police. And that's disgusting. Police officers are upset, and this is how cops get killed.
Steve, you blame the mayor of New York City.
You know, we have an amazing president that supports law enforcement and the police, and now we look at this progressive mayor that has tied the hands of the police. So he's taken away stop and frisk. He's taken away many of the tools that they could use, the broken windows theory. And you create a reactive or less than reactive police department when in a city like this, you need a proactive police department.
Dr. Porcher, you say this is a result of the Ferguson effect.
Absolutely. When we go back to what happened in Ferguson, you had police officers that took more of a standoffish effect in terms of the public. And then we move forward to when the Eric Gardner verdict, I should say the Eric Gardner indictment did not occur against Officer Pantaleo in Staten Island a couple of years ago. Mayor de Blasio came out and vocally stated his opposition to that. He felt that Officer Pantaleo should have been indicted. We fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, Mayor de Blasio made that same statement that he felt that the Department of Justice should have taken action against Officer Pantaleo. But what that states is the separation between the police department and Mayor de Blasio. And you have to realize police officers are our first line of defense as citizens, and he's not holding up to the commitment of the social contract.
Guys, a couple of years ago, it was a funeral for a police officer, and the mayor of New York was there, and police officers, rank and file, turned their backs on him. Remember that video?
I was there with my son in 2014 with Lou and Ramos. And it was a show of force to let the mayor know exactly how the members feel.
Joe, you say that this video shows it's okay to commit crimes and there's no repercussion.
You know, you have raised the age nowadays to let older people and older children get away with crimes that they're doing. You have these judges making plea deals with gentlemen for guns, and then what happens? They end up becoming recidivists. You know, there comes a point where police officers have to go out there, be respected again. It's nice when you see these lip-singing videos and these dance battles, but police officers are police officers, and they have to do their job. They got to take back the street.
Dr. Porcher, real quickly, we have less than a minute. In this video, the people who are involved in
yes, Phil, give me 2 seconds.
Impacting these police officers, a lot of the faces are crystal clear. Are the police going to go back after them now?
I believe based on the viral nature of this video, you could have an investigation done to arrest these people. But it goes back to police officers are here to protect and defend the citizens of the city of New York. And this is a clear attribute that it didn't happen here. And I blame this on the administration not backing the cops.
All right. Joe, Steve, and Dr. Darren, we thank you all for joining us live.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Thank
What do you
you.
think?
This is a lieutenant that I used to work with, Joey and everybody. His name is Cardinale, a really great guy. He worked with me in housing. He was a whatchamacallit? He was in the Italian Officers Association president. This guy's a great guy, Joe Cardinale. Listen to what he has to say about this.
Oh my God, they came over here to talk to them that they violated. Yo, they violated them. They violated them.
Kid over there, but cops are outnumbered, you know, and just so disgusted.
PD Commander Joe Cardinelli. Joe, your reaction to that?
I'm just so disgusted with it. It's appalling, and
they're outnumbered.
They're outnumbered.
The cops are outnumbered.
The cops are outnumbered. You know, you could call for backup. Everybody can second guess on Monday morning.
I worked with this guy.
This kid over there, but you know, the cops today have a difficult job, and from what I understand, this young cop is fresh out of the academy.
Two rookies.
That one right there that got the water dumped.
Exactly, and he's on probation. So it's
They're
hard
only
enough.
on probation, though, not because he got in trouble. It's
Because he's fresh out of the academy.
And you said you can't even sneeze.
If you sneeze wrong, I mean, it's hard enough. I mean, what is the definition of doing your job today? Nobody knows, because everything is so politically motivated in this city. You have a mayor that's more concerned with running for president, joke, and then he can't even run the city. The cops do not respect him. And then you have the puppets underneath him that'll do anything he says, and there's no support for the cops. So cops out there going, what happens if I turn around and I grab this guy and it's all on video and this and that? I'm going to lose my job. So last night, I mean, Mark Furman was on. He was second-guessing these cops. You can't do it because you're not in their shoes. I guarantee you nobody told them to walk away. That's on their own, all right? And their reasons are their reasons. But it's not like it used to be.
Well, for example, Terrence Monahan says this: as they are making their arrest, there are a couple of guys who thought it was all right to throw water and bucket them. Well, that isn't right. The officers called for backup, and the group eventually scattered. But at that moment, what do you do at that moment? If it was 1977 and it was you, how would you have handled it?
Well, you call for backup, you turn around, and right now I face the guy who did it. You turn around and you face the guy who did it. You don't know. That's water. It could have been anything else. I mean, it could have been bleach, could have been acid, it could have been anything. We've had so much stuff thrown at us from the roofs of apartment buildings and everything. It's part of the job, but it's just sad that, you know, they look like they're walking away with their tail between their legs, but meanwhile they might have been walking away to regroup, get back up, and then go in. You don't know. You know, we can't second guess them, but what we can do is support them.
The culture has changed so much. That's what's happened. Because when I was growing up, I remember watching the news, and if you shot a cop, you got the electric chair.
Yeah, guys, don't time out Tupac
and
Nation.
I remember knowing we
he's
had to
actually
respect
a friend of
our
mine,
police
so
officers.
I don't know what
we
he said, but let's just leave it alone for a minute.
Out of respect, because we knew that they were in charge, and what they said goes. We grew up like that. Now the culture is laughing at the cops, throwing water on them. Back, 20 years ago, that would not have ever happened. That kid would have gotten arrested. The guys are on the subway yelling at the cop face to face, yelling vulgar things, and the men just have to stand there because the culture has changed. And you're right, people are videoing. They're worried about getting in trouble themselves.
What do you do here?
What do you do? Well, the cop is, you're listening. You can't. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to.
You're allowed to be berate. You're allowed to berate a cop like that. You
Why
can't
didn't they
turn around.
In this city, you can do anything you want to a cop, according to what's going on right now. But back in the day, you get right back in this guy's face. You take him down. You do what you have to do, and it's an arrest. It's a verbal assault. It's an assault with the bucket. It's an assault on a cop, no matter how you look at it. But today, you can arrest that guy, and he's going to go to court, and there's going to be sympathy in court, and he's going to walk away, and there's going to be even, further vindication for them, because this is the culture that we've created today.
Recruitment is down 11% across the country.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable. Joe, thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
We'll see what happens. One of those guys, a gang member, by the way, that was in the video.
All right, so
what would you ask, Robert?
Again, reiterating that it was a gang member
want to know.
In one of those videos. So, anyways, so that being said, we're going to move along. This is a climate that was, this is a climate that's really ugly going forward. There was also a community press conference held at the 2-8 precinct today. Hello, Louise Poppy. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live stream. Everybody say hello to our good friend Louise Poppy from New Zealand. So let me say hello to some of the new people that are joining. Atacor, great to see you. Frank, thank you so much for being in here. Wrestler, yeah, unfortunately a couple more, and there's some officers from Atlanta and down in Georgia got water thrown on them. and some other outsiders. Hello, Max Cobra. How is Timmy doing? I hope he is doing really good. So yeah, this is a situation that is setting a very bad precedence. So, like I said, none of us here would like to have water thrown on us if we were on our way to work or just going about our business during the day. I mean, I don't think there's one person here in the chat that would say, hey, it would be okay if a whole group of kids came up to me and just threw water on me. I mean, I don't think many would like that, you know. Hi, Acer. How are you? Mrs. Steinberg and husband, great to see you. Thank you so much for coming in on the broadcast. So, you know, this is just not acceptable. Good to see you, Katina. Thank you for joining. Thank you. And I just want to say a special thank you to all of my friends and Patreon supporters and everybody who supports me through Super Chat, comments, emails, direct messages on social media. Those are always greatly appreciated. Polka Dot Suzanne says, absolutely terrible to do this to cops. Absolutely terrible to do it to anybody, but no less a police officer. So it is just not something good. And you know what? It is, in the incident where the bucket was thrown at the officer's head, that person was charged with assault. That person was charged with assault because they threw an object at the police officer and hit him in the head. So, you're welcome, Frank. My pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Tasers and water don't go well, Wrestle Knowledge. Tasers and water do not go well. It's not a good thing. You can't use them when you have a wet environment. Bird is getting better. The bird is doing better. Thanks for asking, Hio. So it is what it is. Dawn, thank you so much for coming in. Black Rose, thank you for moderating. Guys, again, I understand that some things were said in the chat, but I've had so many good conversations with that person, that Tupac Nation guy that you guys were all timing out. I know he said it was just water, but we got to let the person finish before, you know, we got to hear a little bit more than just, it was just water. He might have been saying it, you know, like, oh, they're throwing water on the police? Really? You know, I know that we all read things differently. If he comes back, don't time him out and let him just stay. And I'll make the decision on him. Anyways, I appreciate what you guys do, and I'm not saying that what you did was wrong. He's just plucking out his feathers. Popeye's okay. He was just plucking out more of his feathers. Okay, Dawn, great to see you. The topic that we're speaking about is the water dousing of NYPD police officers on duty. There's been more cases of this going on. There's 14 suspects that are still out there. Atacor 21, thank you for that super love. Thank you for the super love. Thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Atacor 21, a very great supporter of the Duty Ron family, and I thank you tremendously for that. It is frightening. It is frightening, guys. Katina, I agree with you 100%. You don't know what's in that bucket. You know, chances are it's just water, but you just never know what the intention is. These are obviously people who do not have respect or love for the police. Anybody that respects a police officer and appreciates them is not going to douse him with water, as we know. So these are not friends. These are foes. You know what I mean? Faith Harmony, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Much love and respect to all in the chat. So I appreciate you being in here. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of that going on nowadays, Matt. So that's what happens. You know, we have a lot of children raising children, and the messages don't get conveyed on how to act properly in public. And you know, don't forget, this is areas where we have a little bit of higher crime. And a little bit of struggles that go on, different types of struggles. So it's not, how can I put this lightly? These are not low crime areas where this is happening. So the level of civility is definitely lower in these areas, and that's the lightest way that I could put this to you guys. The level of civility is definitely not what we're used to. You know, it's people aren't saying thank you and please and holding doors open for people. You know what I'm saying? Does everybody get my does everybody get the vibe that I'm trying to throw out here? What I'm throwing out is a very legit, very straightforward vibe. This is neighborhoods where everything is a struggle. Everything including where the next drink is going to come from, where the next meal is going to come from. So, you know, Jana, nobody should have water thrown on them, whether they're a police officer or a civilian. Okay? It doesn't matter, as we all agree here, if you are going, Red Lotus, good to see you. Thank you for joining. I hope all is well with you. We haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Welcome into the chat. What I'm trying to say is that nobody deserves that treatment, no less a police officer, someone in a public a position where they're upholding the law, and they're there to keep. Jutta, thank you so much for being in here. Welcome in from across the pond, and enjoy your day at work. I hope it goes smooth. So nobody expects to be, hey, Tupac, no problem. It's all good. I appreciate you being in here, and it's all good. I hope you were listening to what I said. So thank you for your respect that you've always shown towards law enforcement. It's just sometimes messages get conveyed. This chat in all social media live streams, sometimes like when you send someone a text message, the message gets misconstrued. So again, all of the people that are in here are just looking out for my channel, and they didn't do it with malicious intent. It's just that these are people that are here to protect the integrity of the live stream. They're not doing it maliciously. These are all good people, and you're always welcome. I know that you support the police. You've spoken to me about that, and just, you know, when you just said the water thing, there might have been it might have been misconstrued. So let's just put that aside. Hello, Katrina. Katrina, good to see you. Polka Dot Suzanne, I know that you've been agreeing all along. You know, these kids, some of them were in their 30s, so it's not like these are kids. Some of them are younger that we see on these videos. But so let me just go into the next part of what I want to say here. And thank you to everyone who has joined. If you are new in here, let me know where you're watching from, your city, your state, or your country, so I can give you a warm welcome. If you are in here and you can share this on a social post on your community page on YouTube, if you could share it onto Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of your social media, I would appreciate. That is a way that you can help me. Thumbs up on the video, but most importantly, sharing it all across social media. I just took 5 minutes of the initial part of this broadcast to send out this video onto my social platforms. Now, like I said, I wish I can get someone to do that for me so it wouldn't take away from the video, but I have to do it manually, you know? I agree, Shannon. I agree. There's a lot of dynamic that goes into why these people do this. There's a lot of different social and economical dynamics that are come into play here. Now, in these higher crime areas, or in these lower income areas / higher crime areas, you have a lot of dissension amongst the police and the public. And it's not the good people that have problems with the police. It's the bad people. The people who are selling drugs, that are not living their life properly. It's the people that are not abiding by the laws of the land that do not like the police. Now, I could tell you this firsthand because I worked in a very high crime area and a low income area in housing projects where people really did not have a lot, and everything was a struggle. And I could tell you that they did not like the police there, because the police were arresting their family members that were out selling drugs or that were out robbing people. And that's what happens. That's where this stuff happens. You're not seeing this on Park Avenue or Midtown South in Central Park. You're not seeing this at Radio City Music Hall. You're not seeing this in some of the nicer areas. This is in some of the higher crime areas, you know? Yes, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, but I am going to actively look into that this week. I promise. No worries, Jonna. I'm on it. Don't worry about it, kiddo. I'll do the best I can. Okay, so I want to set up just this next video for you guys. And when I start showing the videos where I'm not here like this, I don't intentionally ignore you guys. I just want you guys to hear what I'm trying to show you. So when you send me messages while I'm showing the video, I'm not answering most people. So, and I don't do that to be rude. I do it so I can get the bulk of the message that I want to get across. So this next video is from the 28th precinct. These are community leaders. They're a lot of evangelistic and clergy. There's a lot of people from the African American community, all the church-going people, the community council presidents, the people who have interaction with the police department. These are the good people from the community. These are law-abiding, for the most part. These are all law-abiding citizens that are here at this press conference that I'm going to let you watch. Two geeks. I love that screen name. Two real geeks. I love it. Katina says, I thought just... Hold on. Let me go back to Katina. I thought just pointing a finger in a cop's face earned an assault charge. That was back in the 80s and 90s when I was a cop. I was a cop in the 80s. Kayla Talent, good to see you. Good to see you. I know it's more calm down there, but it's just a matter of time before it does get down there. So the video I want to show you is some of the clergy from the 28th precinct. That's in Harlem. This is Harlem, New York. This is where the bucket was actually thrown. An empty bucket was thrown at the cop while he was effecting arrest. The video that I showed you with the guy, the police officer, with the guy bent over the hood of the car and he was putting handcuffs on him, this is the precinct where this happened, these people that are going to talk right now. And the reason they held this press conference was two reasons. There's two reasons why they held this press conference. They wanted to convey a message that they support the police and that they love and need the police, but they also don't want violence being committed against any of their people because they're in fear of retribution by the police. In other words, it was a twofold press conference. They went in front of the precinct. You'll see it's right in front of the precinct. And they basically said, we support our police. We love our police. And we don't condone this kind of behavior. They're doing it to quell and keep the relationship between the community and the police, because it goes both ways. The police want to have a relationship with the community, and the community wants to have a relationship with the police. But in the 28th precinct in Harlem, that sometimes is broken down by bad behavior from the public. I got an itch on my ankle. I'm taking care of this itch on my ankle. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video. So I just wanted you guys to know, and I wanted to set it up so you get an idea of what these people are trying to accomplish. They're trying to accomplish and keep community unrest from happening. So this is what goes on in a lot of precincts. A lot of the struggles in a precinct is the relationship between the police and the community, the people who live there. So let's watch this real quick as I set it up. But give me 2 seconds. I want to make sure I have the right thing here. Okay. Katrina, how are you? Great to see you. Much love and respect to Katrina Catress, my girl. Much love and respect to her. All right, I'm going to pause it. Guys, if you're not following Joey Brooklyn, please follow Joey Brooklyn. Follow Black Rose number 11. Follow Winky Whispers. Follow Linda in Canada, even though she doesn't do any content. Life of MC is a great friend of mine. I'm not sure if it went through. My first time doing it. Sorry if it failed. It's just a matter of you trying to do it is what I love. So thank you for that. Follow Red Lotus. Follow Joey Brooklyn. Follow Louise Poppy, if she's still here, and Dave in Osaka. I am streaming on a Logitech HD Pro professional webcam through my gaming laptop and Streamlabs. So there's three things going on here. I have a pro webcam, that's a movie kind of quality pro webcam. I have a lightning fast gaming laptop that has a dedicated video card in it. And I have Streamlabs, which is an OBS, that's open broadcasting software, which compresses everything and makes it as crystal clear as possible. I hope I explained that well. So I got a trifecta going on here. And if I really wanted to get professional, I could put studio lighting in here, but I don't want to be like that. I just want to give you me, the raw, unedited version of me. Yeah, it is. But I'm trying to explain it to my people who are outside of the country and inside the United States to the best that I can explain it from a police standpoint. This is my perspective on this case. All right, so let me just show this real quick. This is only going to be about 5 minutes max. Okay? So these are the people from the church and community, the community board members. These are people who interact with the police. They have monthly meetings with the community council, with the police department. So here they are. This is today. Hold on, guys.
Miss, you good?
All right, they're right out in front of the precinct, 2-8 precinct. Give it a second, wrestling knowledge. All right, this woman says a prayer, so I'm going to go forward.
Before we start, our message, when we came out, a matchless name that we have prayed. Amen? Amen. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Lehman Jake McGee. I'm the 28th.
Okay, here it goes, right from here, when this woman in the blue dress steps aside.
We're gathering here today because our community is better than what we have seen. Yes. Our young people can be afraid. Amen? Amen. I'm the 28th Precinct Council.
Okay, he's the community council president.
Precinct Council president. And the reason that we're gathering here today because our community is better than what we have seen. Yes. Our young people can do better. We need the police department. We can't have individuals taking the law in their own hand, because if that happened, then what would our community be? And those that have been in Harlem for years, like I have been in, because I can remember when Harlem was abandoned building. That's right. Now look at the neighborhood now, how it has grown. And we love the police department, they love us. And the 2-8, we're trying to work together as a team. Yes. And when someone do wrong, we got to speak on it. We can't bite our tongue, because if the police department do something wrong, we're going to speak on that too. That's right. But today we're here to stand with the police department and let them know that we will not let no one disrespect them. That's right. Because we all deserve respect. Right. And with no further ado, I'm going to have Mother Jacko Adams to say a few words.
Thank you. First, let me say I want to thank our President McGee, Jake McGee, for convening this press conference. I also want to thank clergy, Pastor Ramos, and our Deputy Inspector McIntosh in the Community Affairs Unit. Without the police, as you heard, we can't do nothing for safety. We need our police. It's unacceptable what took place last week. Enough is enough, because it's a water bottle today, it's a bucket tomorrow, and then it's bricks, and next thing they're going to take their guns. We are a community that sticks together. We work very hard. And I feel we have one of the best commissioners, Commissioner James O'Neill, that have been doing a lot of community service and putting and working to put community and police together. I want to say to Chief Rodney Harrison, he works very hard to make sure that our youth are having programs and that they understand we don't have all bad cops. We have some knuckleheads, but we have some good cops that care about this community. And we want people to know that NYPD do not stand alone. We from the 2-8 stand with them. Thank you.
Talk about it. That's right. Thank you so much. Now we have Reverend Sullivan come to say some words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. What you're looking at today is the community. People from all walks of life make up the community. And we stand here together, unified by our respect for life and our respect and appreciation for what our local precinct does for this community. Whenever something happens, there are always people who benefit from divisiveness. They want to separate us. They want to pit us against one another. But when you see the everyday people on a regular basis, we walk together, we play together, we pray together, we work together, and today we stand together.
Yes, yes.
An attack on one person's life in this community is an attack on every person's life in this community.
Say it, Rev.
It is our responsibility as residents of this community to stand here and support our precinct the way they support us every day they show up on duty and put their lives on the line for us. They do a thankless job. These officers that were attacked this week, to me, showed amazing restraint.
That's right.
That incident could have gone so left so quickly. And instead of being admired for diffusing a situation, they were criticized for not escalating. They are in a no-win situation. Most times they put on this uniform and step in these streets. And so we need to be in support of them, because without them, we have nothing but chaos, and that would not be acceptable. And so today, your community stands here today calling for peace, calling for unity. There is no police and community. There's just one community, and the police are a very important part of that. We stand here for all of our mothers and fathers, our grandparents, and our children who need a safe community. They want the same thing we want. Every day you walk out of your home, that's to get home just as safe as you left. And that's what we're here for today, to ensure the safety of all residents and participants in this community. So we thank the 2A precinct for working tirelessly every day to ensure a wonderful, safe Harlem community. And we're grateful for what they do for us and with us each and every day.
Yes. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Come on.
To everyone standing beside me and behind me, thank you for being a part of the fabric of this community, because this is one quilt that no one incident and no one person will ever tear apart. We are Harlem United, we are Harlem Together, and we are Harlem Strong.
Yes.
And before we close, Pastor Baby, we're going to introduce our guests that showed up.
And so I just wanted to make sure that everyone here today, as Reverend Sullivan already said, is being acknowledged. But we want to acknowledge them by name because it is very important that they come, they support the 2A, and they support community at all times. So we want to recognize Councilman Bill Perkins.
Okay, so what I want to say about this is a great thing. Okay, it was a great thing for two reasons, and exactly the two reasons what I spoke about before I showed you this. These are community council. The man in the white shirt was the community council president. The man in the suit at the end was the preacher from the church, from the Baptist church. These are all good people that live within this cluster of Harlem where you have some bad people. Okay, these are the people that will call 911 when there's a crime happening or a drug dealer or something bad going on. These aren't the people that will hurt the police, and they're fantastic people. Okay, but their agenda is twofold. Number one, to have a good relationship with the police, which is smart. But the number two reason they did this is because they don't want the police to have retribution and go after the people of their community. In other words, this is to stop any police from taking out retribution on the people of the community. This is their way of, and it's the right thing to do, and it's proper. It's the same concept of how we, as police, have meetings with them every month and tell them all the things that we are doing to help secure their community, to help make, it's not shakedowns, wrestle knowledge. That shakedowns is a bad word. I'm just saying that they want to try to stop and kind of just put it to bed any type of police retribution, and that could range from excessive ticketing to excessive arrests, and the commander of the 2-8, he's a deputy inspector. He's not going to allow that to happen. He's going to monitor that closely. But I think what they did was good, and I think it's a great starting point. The kids, do the kids in the street, do these thugs listen to those people? No, they don't. I'm not saying this to be a negative person or a Debbie Downer. I'm telling you this because when I was a police officer in Brownsville in East New York, I went to the meetings where the community council presidents were there, and it was all a black community that I worked in. And they loved us. They loved us, and they told us that they were behind us and they back us up. But that didn't stop the kids from throwing, and the criminals from throwing air conditioners off the roof at us when we left a housing project or a building. It didn't stop them from shooting out our windows when our cars were parked out in front of their house for a call, and we go into a 15-story building and then come out and we'd either have a flat tire or a smashed out windshield or a shot out back window. The community board people and the clergy could not, talk sense into these bad people. You could talk till you're blue in the face. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Thank you for the super chat, Life of MC, for the 1,000 PHP. Thank you so much for your generosity. Love and respect to you and all the great people from the Philippines. Thank you so much for that. Always so generous. I appreciate you. Okay, so thank you, Black Rose, for that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Red Lotus, for the links and the statements. I greatly appreciate that. I'm giving it to you straightforward because I've been there and done that. I've been down that road before, and these people, albeit they have good intentions, they're not going to stop this situation from happening. It's going to be up to us as the police. It's going to be up to the police to sort of put a hole in the dam. Thank you, Susan, for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super love. I greatly appreciate that. Susan Walls, a good friend of the Duty Ron community. Thank you so much for your generous super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So, unfortunately, that's Philippines currency. Philippines currency. People would want to think that that's 1,000 US dollars. I think it converts to it's a generous amount. It converts to like $20, I believe, US currency. So 1,000 PHP. Last time I checked, it was the conversion was around 20. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's her love and respect always for me. She's always so generous. So everyone, I implore you to go over to Life of MC. She's in the Philippines. She speaks fluent English. Some of her broadcasts are in her native language. So when I go in and I support her, which I do as much as I can, sometimes I get lost in the conversation because she has a lot of friends who are from the Philippines and they speak in their language, but I stick with it because I love them all. I think they're all great, and I don't know what they're saying. They could be saying anything, but I just hang out there for a little while and then I wait for some English to come. So That's what I do. But I encourage you all to go and support Life of MC. She's a wonderful woman, and she is awesome. She's awesome sauce. So, yeah, that's the current situation on the water bucket situation with the NYPD. Unfortunately, guys, this is going to be spreading to a theater near you if it doesn't get nipped in the bud. And unfortunately, as we heard, your son was in Manila. Okay, cool. Randy Horton is in Cebu, I believe, in the Philippines. Cebu, C-E-B-U, Cebu. So Randy is visiting his wife in Cebu in the Philippines. I don't know how far that is from Life of MC, but one of our friends from Periscope and YouTube is visiting Cebu in the Philippines. The Philippines people are beautiful. They're wonderful people. What about his message that the police were criticized for not escalating rather than being applauded for diffusing? Are you going to talk about that? What about his message that the police were criticized for not escalating? The police were criticized amongst the police for not escalating. But what we come to find out, and that was a good question, by the way. Who brought that up? AJP. I'm not sure if I know you, AJP, but thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. We come to find out the police officers who walked away in Brownsville, where it showed, I think they were Asian police officers. They had the bucket thrown right over their head as they walked away. They were rookies right out of the academy. And when you come out of the academy for a period of about 2 years, when you come out of the academy, there's 2 years of probation. And during those 2 years in the probation, you could be fired for anything. So they were well within their right to arrest those people right then and there. But because they were rookies, they didn't know, and they feared that if they arrested them, that they would get fired from their job. So they thought that they couldn't do anything, but they were retrained and retaught that they were in their right mind to arrest the perpetrators. But they didn't, because they feared that they were going to be reprimanded for it. So that's the reason why they didn't take any police action. But police took police action after the fact. So that's the story in regards to that. They were afraid of the mayor, but they were also unsure of what the mayor would do to them. You know, the mayor does not back the police, as you heard from numerous sources, that Mayor de Blasio is not a fan of the police, of his own people who protect his life. He's not a fan of us. So that's unfortunate. So, I have a video that I chose not to play of the Sergeants Benevolent. That's the Supervisory Officers Union outright saying that the mayor should be fired. He should resign. So, there's no love between the police and the current mayor in New York City. He's a clown. He's an idiot. Mayor Bill de Blasio, the bozo, the clown. Yeah. Joey, you live in the 5 boroughs and you know the story. The guy's a clown. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, yeah, exactly, Lion, Anon, exactly. Jana, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I think I answered that question pretty appropriately, and that's to my knowledge of what I know from. Don't forget, I have friends that are still on the police department, so I called and spoke to different ranks. I have a friend who's a deputy chief. I didn't call him, but I spoke to sergeant, I spoke to a captain, and I spoke to a lieutenant. So I spoke to 3 supervisory officers about this incident, and that was the general consensus. These guys were rookies. The other two in Harlem, the other two in Harlem were affecting an arrest, and they felt that if they disengaged with that arrest, they had a person over the hood of their car and they were handcuffing them. They felt if they disengaged that arrest, that they would have risked losing that prisoner, that prisoner could have escaped. And that's a big no-no. You could get in big trouble as a police officer in New York City if you lose your prisoner. In other words, you put somebody in handcuffs and then the prisoner escapes, you take a huge hit. It's 60 days with no pay. You lose 60 days. So thank you so much, Red Lotus, for the super love. Thank you for that. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. She says, Duty Ron, thank you for all that you do for us and giving us everything as you get it. We appreciate it immensely. I appreciate you immensely and all of you guys. Guy and Jackie, welcome in. It's okay. There's a lot going on here. So if anybody's new in on the channel, let me know where you're watching, your city, your state. Let me know what your name is, your country, so I could give you a shout out and say hello and welcome you into the broadcast. I'm a live streamer. I don't upload a lot of videos. All of my stuff that I do, as you guys know, is live and unedited. There's no editing in what I do. I go live and I give it to you straight from here. So the water dousing has already spread into Baltimore. It's down in Atlanta, and I'm sure it'll be all over the place. AJP, I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know what the point you're trying to get across or what you're trying to say, but it is what it is. That's your opinion. I respect it. So, Eyes Wide Shut. Hi, Vodun from Iowa here. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Welcome into the channel. Welcome. Thanks, Duty Ron. Much appreciated. You got it, Dawn. It's my pleasure. Hi, Duty Ron. I am new from California, from the great state of California. Excellent. Good to see you. Welcome in, Sharon. I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate you being new. His message was that it was unfortunate that police were criticized for not escalating. If he said the police were criticized, they were by the upper management. The upper management made a statement that they should have taken action. I addressed that by saying that they were retrained. Those rookies were told by the commanding officer. That was the chief of the department that reprimanded them, AJP. That was a high-ranking NYPD official. That was a chief that publicly stated that the officers should have taken action. Platinum Mimi, thank you so much for the super love. Thank you, Platinum. Love and respect to you always. Thank you, New York City Pat. You are the man. Thank you for coming in. So one of the chiefs made a public statement that the officers should have taken police action. And he was correct, because they should have taken police action and they didn't. So now going forward, if that was to happen, all the officers are instructed to make an arrest immediately. So from this day going forward, any of these type of situations that go down should come out and result in an arrest of the perpetrators committing the crime. You know, these community leaders, they have their opinions on stuff. We don't have to necessarily agree with what they say. We just have to do what we have to do to keep ourselves safe and to keep the community safe and to keep law and order. Until you strapped this uniform on and became a police officer or did the job, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback it or sit in your chair and second guess what the police should and shouldn't do. And that goes for everybody. I'm not just directing that at anybody in particular, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people sit at home and say, oh, they should have did this. Oh, they should have did that. They should have did this. But until you do the job and you have the authority to place handcuffs on somebody and bring somebody to jail and take their freedom away from them, then it's not easier said than done. And I'm telling you because I've effected over 1,000 arrests in my career. I've locked up 1,000 people or more in my time, in my 2 decades as a law enforcement professional. So when people sit at home from their chair and don't know what they're talking about, you know, it is, for me, it is just so unfair. And I don't sit and point fingers at them, but I have to get that out there and let everybody know. I feel like I just got the same answer I got when I asked my pastor about the dinosaurs. I'm in Oklahoma. Well, welcome to New York City, AJP. You're not in Kansas anymore, or Oklahoma for that matter. I'm giving it to you straightforward. I mean, if you can't understand what I'm saying, or if you're not getting it, send me an email and maybe we could talk about it a little bit more. But I'm not going to disrupt my whole live just to give you the answer to the questions that you want to hear answers to. I'm doing the best I can. If it's not good enough from you, then I'm sorry. Mick Jagger, Mrs. Mick Jagger, now Mrs. Mick Jagger. So, Betty, good to see you, Betty. Thank you so much for being in here. I appreciate you. I'm running out of H2O. This is my second bottle of water. Spinal taps are bad. All right, so I'm going to close it up. We're over an hour and 15 minutes of live. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk. I know I am. I'm sick of hearing myself talk. Guy and Jackie, respect for law enforcement. Thank you so much. I'm going to read some of the comments out loud. I'll read some of the comments. Start with the Tito's. I'm going to bed. It's freaking 1:15 in the morning here, or 2 o'clock, 2:15. Corrections, 2:15 a.m. I got to get to bed. So anybody else have any questions or comments other than my friend from Oklahoma? Has everybody given me a thumbs up on the video, with the exception of maybe a few? I know I always get a couple of thumbs down. Everyone's given a thumbs up, I hope. I just woke here in the UK. It's 7:15 in the morning. Watch you live from the beginning to see what occurred. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that. Thank you. Great video. Great being here with you all. Have a great night. Thank you, Adacor, for your constant support, and I appreciate you being in here. I agree. It was assault. Thank you, AJP. I appreciate that you agree on that. I really do. I do. Thank you, Eyes Wide Shut. Thank you for liking and sharing. And again, if you guys have content that you put out on your channel, or if you go live and are a content creator, I will come and support you. I do that a lot. And those of you who are in here, like Life of MC, Red Lotus, a bunch of people know that know me well, know that I come and support the content creators. So if you're out there on YouTube and you're creating videos, you can count on me either catching your lives or catching your uploads and giving you thumbs up and putting comments in your comment section and stuff like that. Yeah, you got to worry about your brother. You know, you got to worry. It's a very different day and age to be a cop. I mean, I was a street cop in the early 90s. And there was no cell phones, there was no Instagram and Facebook Live, there was no videoing going on, so it's a lot different. There's a lot of handcuffs being placed on the police. In other words, it's harder to do, and it's harder to police the communities the proper way, the right way. The right way to police the communities are being taken away from the police. And then it's just resulting in a lot more crime, a lot more petty thefts, a lot more of all of the stuff that used to get taken care of on the street. So, Elizabeth Dimps, yes, I still want to know why I was accused of speaking foully. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. You're confusing me, Platinum Mimi. You don't talk foully. You talk great. There you go, B. Smith. All right, guys. So a lot of love and respect for everybody here. I really appreciate you supporting your local law enforcement. Guys and girls, remember, support your men and women of law enforcement. Support the 9/11 first responders. That's the police, fire, EMS. When you call 911 and you get any type of branch of first emergency responders, give them thanks, give them praise, let them know that you appreciate them. Hello, Darlene. I know I'm on my way out the door. Support your local military here in the NYPD. Don't worry about it, Platinum Mimi. Don't worry about that. Just care about what we know you. That person doesn't know you well. You are the best. Support your military, support your local law enforcement, the men and women who risk their lives for us every day, and give thanks and praise. So much love and respect to all of you guys here. To my new subscribers and my new friends, welcome. And I hope that tonight or through my previous videos, I've earned our friendship. And I look forward to seeing you guys on my next live. So everyone have a great weekend, and love and respect from the Duty Ron family to each and every one of you. You're welcome, Guy and Jackie. Thank you, B. Smith over in Australia. Put a prawn on the Barbie for me. Love and respect right back to you, Margie. Thank you so much, Margie, for your Patreon support and all of your kind words that you always put out for me. I really do appreciate the kind words. Thank you to the moderators, Black Rose, Andrea, Joey Brooklyn, Red Lotus, Winky Whispers, and all the people. Life of MC. You are the best. You are the best. Really, I appreciate you tremendously. I'm doing good, Darlene. I'm on my way out the door. I'm on my way out. You got to watch the replay. I'll talk to you guys soon. Greta, greetings from Norway. Wow. I almost feel guilty leaving now that somebody from Norway came in and Darlene is here. How would they feel if the guy they had handcuffed was a guy who killed someone's child? I think they would feel like crap. They would feel like crap. Cousins, talk to you soon. I said your name correct. Andrea. Ron, it's Andrea. I'll never forget that phone call. Duty Ron, you rock, dude. Thank you, Dawn. All right, guys. Love and respect. Talk to you soon. Greta from Holland. Guys, good night.